Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Let Me Be Serious podcast where we're all going to have a great time and still have a serious moment or two. This podcast is for the multi hyphenates, the faith filled, and the dreamers, the creatives, the entrepreneurs, and the builders. If you are multi passionate and or in a season of transition, this podcast is for you. My name is Egypt Cullum. I am the host of this podcast. Hi, how are you doing? It is nice to see you. Now, just like with every episode, I'm going to give a disclaimer. So, hey guys, my voice might be weird, okay? Only because, not like last week, but this week, I am a little bit under the weather. Sucks. It truly sucks. And so I'm going to be sipping on some tea I made. So if I say I need a tea break, mm, that's what that is, okay? All right, so getting into today's episode. So, the 3 to 4 things God taught me this week. Let's start with the first one. Choosing to be yourself will draw the correct people to you more than the wrong people. Okay? That's what God taught me. Choosing to be myself will draw the correct people to me more than it will draw the wrong people. And he added like a subtext to this one this week. It says, no one is going to be mad at you for being you unless they are not for you. That is something I feel like I've had to like learn throughout my entire life, is that people who are meant to be around me and in my life and in my circles and in my environment, they are never mad when I'm just being myself. They're never mad at it. And yeah, they're just never mad. Next thing, don't tell your dreams to small-minded people. I feel like so many people say this, but it just hit me again this week. Not because I found a small-minded person, but I found an expansive-minded person. And it was just so mentally relieving to be able to just talk and not have to explain everything and just go into everything or even explain why. There was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like it was so nice. And so therefore, don't tell your dreams to small-minded people because they'll make it seem like you crazy. Tea break. All right. Next, when you encounter your glass ceilings or a limiting thought or belief, your body will reject the idea that you can go further. Like I call limiting beliefs glass ceilings and walls in this season of my life. It's just what I do. It gives me like a mental picture. And so I this week I hit one of them and my body just started going crazy. Like it wasn't like I was spazzing or anything, but it was just like it was so uncomfortable. I felt so uncomfortable and I didn't even understand what was going on. So sometimes when we get into those states, we need to immediately self reflect and say, okay, what's making me do this? Because we'll start reverting all of it, right? So he reminded me of that. And lastly, the last one is just thoughts. I had seen an Instagram post and it said, love yourself through the process. Love yourself through the process. Once again, God gave me some subtext. Take care of yourself through the hard and easy times. I think it's so easy for us, of course, to take care of ourselves through the easy times because that's when we have the time or we feel like we have the time or we feel like we have the mental capacity. But in actuality, in reality, we need to take care of ourselves all the time, especially in the hard times. We need to make time for ourselves. Love yourself through the process. Not everyone's process, and not probably not even your process, is going to be the easiest and most fun. You're going to have difficult challenges and moments where you feel like you're just suffering, and just you have to remember, like, love yourself through that process. Love yourself through that process. So those are the 4 things I learned this week. And so what we're gonna dig deeper into today is breaking the glass ceilings in rooms that are built by our limiting beliefs. That's our main topic for today. So let's get into it. Let me tell you the story about what happened, right? I was running through my 2026 goals, which sounds normal. And one of them is for me to hit a certain financial goal in my business. Okay. Now, I'll let y'all know I'm not going to tell y'all the numbers of anything until they pass, until I hit it. Like, you ain't going to know. Okay. So if you're curious, quit meddling. All right. Just calm down. But for real. But yeah, as we talked about last week, I do my best to set big goals and to meet them in the middle. Like, I try to track them backward and I track myself forward so we can meet in the middle. For some reason, when I was doing my end of the year manifestation journaling, I wrote down this figure. Like, it just popped in my head, so I know it's like it wasn't just random, right? But I was like, oh, okay, so this is all right. Apparently, God gave it to me, and my earthly brain paused, and I was like, excuse me. Like, when I was writing it, I like stopped. I was like, huh? where where did this number come from? Literally. But then it was just like my spirit came back to my body after being in shock, right? And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is what we're doing. Cool. this is this is what we're doing. At this point, I'm just going along with the ride. I'm like, all right, this is where we're at. All right, cool. So as anyone would start doing, I start letting my AI help me break down how I'm gonna get there, right? From my end forward, like, okay, what steps do I need to take? When I tell you, when I started to see the breakdowns and the amount of kind of everything I'm gonna be doing, my body like shut down. Like, it shut down. Not really. Like, I was alive, right? But I barely wanted to even look at the screen and look at the numbers anymore. Like, I couldn't believe that I actually could do it. That's not what you expect me to say. But I could, I like, mentally I was like, oh, this is very possible. Like, my brain did not want to compute that. It was like, huh? How I can? What? And what made it more odd was the part that part of me was like agreeing. Like, it's like, yeah, duh. Like, what? Like, part of me is like, no. What are you talking? What? And then the other part's like, yeah, come on, let's go. So there was internal conflict with that. Then my brain started to make up reasons for me to change the goal. Like like the first thing that came to my mind was like, "Oh, that's too much work." Now, y'all know, and I feel like even at this point in the podcast, y'all know, I do a lot of things. I do. So therefore, it's like, if y'all could have gone into my brain and saw like a visual of my spirit moving out in front of my body, turning around and looking at myself with one of the most confused faces. Tori, please comment and describe what that looks like for people, because y'all don't even understand. So T, if you listening to this, yeah, help them out. Bruh, it's a funny visual. Like, I was there though. And I'm glad I'm training my AI on how to like help talk me out of my self-sabotaging, because that's what I was about to do. Like, if I attempted to process that one on my own, I would have like talked myself out of it. But literally I just told it what I was feeling, and it broke down everything into smaller steps just so I could understand bit by bit. And at that point, right, at that point, I had to take a break. I was like, this is too much. I just need to not right now. I need to do other stuff. I took a nap. Like, I didn't look at the chat where I was typing that until the next day. Like, the next day. Like, and I wasn't doing this late at night. It was literally probably before lunchtime. I didn't look at that until the next day. I was shaky and I was hormonal. That was part of that was because I was also on my cycle, but it literally just like flipped everything. Like, the amount of cortisol that was in my body, the amount of stress hormone that I was feeling, bro, my system was crazy high on it. And I had to like talk to two people, journal, and I had to pray, and then I had to go to bed for me to even calm down. And I went to bed early. Like, I was just out of it. And also I had to then confront myself the next day when I was like trying to go through it, because it's like, because too much work, as if I don't do a ton of unmonetized stuff now. Like, what are we talking about? What am I talking about? Then I also had to remember that something else that I had been like praying to God about a few years ago, like it's so random how it popped back up in my head. But for my current full-time job, right? I had put a deadline on it, like on when I would leave, right? And one of my students, actually, who I had shared that goal with before, had come in my office at my full-time job, and they were like asking like if I was going to stay. I'm like, yeah, at that time I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay, I'm just gonna do the, yeah. So but then God just brought it up to me when I was processing it this week, and I was like, yeah, I did tell you that, didn't I? We were discussing that. And that time is coming around, and I was like, well then, okay. And I don't necessarily want to give up my health insurance. Yep, I said it. That's kind of the main reason I'm there. And but I do love working with some of my colleagues and some of my students, like, but I already knew this was temporary. Like, and it's getting close to that time for real change with my business and everything else. So it's like my concern was like the amount of work I'm doing, but potentially this could put me out of a job, right? But I was missing like the point that I was missing is like, yes, this could put me out of a job, but this could also move me into the one I want to do full time. So it's like, huh? Like, what are we talking about, E? Like, what are we talking about, Egypt? And at that point also I was like, oh, well, this is what we're doing. Okay, like I'm in front of the computer, just like, well, let's continue, I guess. And something else I should share with you is like before the beginning of the year, I released myself and my life into God's hands, which to me now that doesn't sound crazy, but before it's like I just really, really want to maintain control. Like I wanted to just be able to do it all and be the person, but it's like no, God, you got me. Like it's like when I hit that point where it's like I have learned I'm not good at this. And since I've been just letting God do it, my goal is to be in alignment with Him. So I figured, why not, right? He's been trying to get me to do it anyways. And every time I release control to Him, oh, wow, things work out beautifully. So, like, literally, so why not just let Him run the whole show? That's where I'm at. Just why not? And y'all, I'm part of me is freaking out. Like part of me is like, oh crap. What did I sign up for? Okay, this is the ride. Oh, I can't get off. Oh, okay. Oh, I can, but like no? Okay. But it's also like part of me is like, okay, I'm cool about it. Because I know it's gonna work out. Like ain't nothing that crazy happening. I pray, it's like there's a lot of unexpected stuff about to happen, and I'm excited for that part of the journey because yeah, it's like I'm not even nervous for real. It's just because I'm not doing it that's uncomfortable. Like I fully trust it's like, yeah, this is this is a direction that makes sense. Let's go. Right? That's where I'm at. And it's about time for my life to change anyway. Like literally my life changes in sometimes drastic, but not always drastic points. Like it changes like every 3 years. So yeah, it's about that time. And I'm in an era of elevation. So y'all getting to come along with me. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be just a great movie. So I'm so excited for you guys. Or audiobook since y'all listening. So um if you're not following me on my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, right? You might want to do that because I am going to be posting over there more soon. So I will give you guys a little bit more information about that a little later. It's time for questions from the bestie. A question from the besties. Question, a question, a question from the besties. I'm gonna have to like actually make songs for those sections. These sections of the podcast. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. It's cool. So today's question is from my bestie Tiara, who's also my big cousin. Because I gotta get through all my current questions of my besties before I can like actually just have the floor open for you guys. But if you want to go ahead and comment your questions, I promise. You might be surprised when I answer it. So just stick with me, okay? But Tiara's question is, do you feel you had a glow up? If so, when? So for me, I will say I do, but not in looks. Me right now, I feel like I've always looked the same physically. Like I have the same face. Like it might have a few more acne marks, yeah, but I have the same face. Like it's just on a bigger head and bigger body. I look the same. Um, I believe my glow up was more like mental, spiritual, and emotional. Hold on, take a sip of tea. My voice, y'all. That's good. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, it was more in those realms. So, like, I literally went from being insecure and a depressed kid to a grown up with a high level of self esteem and confidence. Honestly, so it's like now I'm a I guess how do I describe this? Now I'm like this all the time, but okay, okay, that's not true. I'm very confident and I have a high level of self esteem, but I'm not like this all the time actually. But uh, I would say like 80 to 92.5% of the time. Yeah, yeah, that's me, right? That's kind of what it is. 80 to 92%. Like I feel like it's a good range, you know. Um, I really think that I just learned to love myself. That's really what it is, and that's my superpower. I feel my superpower was that I didn't match everyone as well, and I learned to love that, which is what I tried to do for so long when I was younger. Was I tried to match people? I tried to just blend in and conform, and once I learned to not that I don't have to do that, I just was allowed to be me. That's when like my whole life changed, honestly. Now I'm like, if someone wants to kill me for being myself, well, just get it over with because I can't play characters. But for so long until my factory reset kicks back in, like honey, and that's a dramatic way of putting it, but like that's real. I will factory reset. So it's like no. So in my terms of glow up, I feel like I just regained my glow or my spark or like maybe my inner light. I see it like if I could like put it into a visual form for you guys. It's like my candle got relit versus like a dimming of a light and it becomes a brighter light. Like both are similar, I'll say, but for a while my candle was truly out. Like no one even knew my candle was out. When I look back at my pictures of myself now, like at this point, at this age, cool. Now I see how I look the same. But a few years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I thought I looked completely different in all my pictures compared to what I look like now. Because, like, really, I thought it looked so different. It was so, I would be so confused as to like how people from high school recognize me. Like, that's literally what my brain was like. Oh, you recognize me? Yeah, we went to high school. Like, you look the same. They'd be like, you look the same. Like, huh? And it's just because I felt so different. I felt completely different, which made me carry myself completely different as well. Like I didn't feel like myself. I didn't carry myself the way I do now. And now I've gotten to a place outside of all that, thank God, that I think the glow up just, you know, happened naturally. Now it's like, yeah, that's what I think the glow up is. It's like it's just me reigniting my own candle. And doing things that I loved, and God, finding God and finding my tribe, like all that relit my candle because I literally was like, okay, life has to change. I have to get better. And yeah. So that's what my glow up is. I don't feel like I look any different. I don't. I I don't. But with life comes elevation. Yes, it's maybe I change appearance every so often, like I go to the gym, I work out, I put on makeup, I do my hair differently, cool, but it's just like I look the same. I put on some contacts. People be like, "You look different without contacts." I'm like, I feel like I look the same because it's just me. So, yeah, I guess I went through a glow up. All right. So, today's podcast was going pretty smooth today. This episode. I'm proud of us. Look at us, y'all. Um, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for a game. It's time for a game. I have not thought of a game. I'm gonna let you know. That's why I was that's why I started off talking, y'all. I have not thought of a game for today. I have something I really want to do this year for our game segment, but I have to like actually do stuff for it first. And so for today's game segment, this is literally me thinking of something off the top of my head. So hey, um, we're gonna talk about. It's not gonna be a game, but we're gonna talk about how we can be our best selves in 2026. What does your best self look like? Does your best self go to the gym? Does your best self do what they want to do? Does your best self find joy? Does your best self plan to read 17 books this year? Like what does your best self look like? For me, I also have to think of what my best self feels like. What does she feel like? What does she think? Where does her joy come from? What is she doing? What's her day to day? Like, what is it? And so I think it's going to be really important for us to really find that. If you didn't do like your journaling or anything, or even your vision boards at the end of last year, honey, you got time. You're fine. But I really want us all to think about that because I haven't done necessarily a regular vision board this year yet because I'm doing something a little different. I do plan to do one, but I'm doing something a little different this year. I'm in a new era. Okay, I'm in a new era. Also, why is it so hard for me to say that word? ERA. I be wanting to say era, like so country. Anyway, but I'm in a new era of life, and it's like it's really it's just been showing me that it's really important for us to choose for ourselves who we're gonna be, who we're able to be, and allow ourselves to be that version of ourselves. It doesn't necessarily you don't have to be that all the time or for the rest of your life, right? Because we're all gonna change, we're all gonna elevate. That's always the goal. But just make sure let's just all make sure we're attempting and really working on being our best selves. Okay. So maybe what today's game's going to be is just more on you guys on telling me what your best self looks like or what do they do? Like what's something that your best self is going to do this year? Who is who is your best self going to talk to this year? How is your best self going to treat yourself this year? So, put that in the comments, or you can hop over to Instagram and put it over there. And yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun. That's the Hey LMBS fam, quick announcement before we end today's episode. I talked about it in the past couple of episodes, but I created a community for creatives called The Nook. If you're a photographer, model, designer, stylist, content creator, any type of creative, really, this space is for you. The Nook is about connection over competition. It's a place where we celebrate wins, support each other's journeys, and create together. We're over on Discord, so join, explore, and make yourself at home. I'd love to see you over there. The link will be in the show notes and in my Instagram link in bio. Thank you so much for staying with me and listening to this week's episode. A quick plug for my YouTube page, okay? It's the same as my personal Instagram page, Evolving Miss Egypt. If you search it, you will also find Let Me Be Serious podcast over on YouTube. So if you search the Let Me Be Serious podcast over on YouTube, you will find that page. Also, disclaimer, there are no videos up there yet. There is not one. But if you all start subscribing, that's going to motivate me to go ahead and start putting up the videos, okay? Because I do have some in the pipeline, so I'm super excited. I am also reading and working through the book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I'm super excited to be sharing those with you. I'm doing weekly reflections. So those are also coming down the pipeline as well. Now, for Let Me Be Serious, don't forget to show your love and rate this podcast. This is my start, restart, and revamp season, and we're really just focused on consistency, discernment, and clarity this year for sure. So, the encouragement you give me will never go unseen or unappreciated. And if you have a question or comment that you want answered on an upcoming episode, don't be shy, my dear. Please comment it wherever you're listening to this, or hop over to the Instagram and ask me over there and preface it with question from a bestie, because I gotta know what you're talking about. Because if you just ask me a question, I'm just gonna think that you want me to answer it where you posted it. So if you really want it to be on an upcoming episode, preface it with question from a bestie, okay? This has been another episode of the Let Me Be Serious podcast, where we're always gonna have a great time and still have a serious moment or two. And I will see you next week. Bye.